Getting out of Biafra is now a nightmare obstacle course over terrible roads and through countless roadblocks. It took us 2 days of hard traveling by Land Rover, by ship, down the Cross River, and finally by aeroplane. The eastern slice of Biafra, a country of about 12 million people, is now in the hands of the federal forces. The Biafrans have been forced to withdraw, cutting an important bridge, blowing it up, and thus cutting the main road from Enugu, the capital, down to Cameroon. In the north, just above the capital at Enugu, there's been fierce fighting round the key road junction at Nsukka, and it fell at the weekend. Hundreds of refugees were streaming down the road southwards towards the capital. Others were fanning out across the bush beside the road. One sergeant with a pistol in his hand came towards us shouting, "No pictures." The atmosphere was becoming panicky. I interviewed a staff officer who claimed the Biafrans were still holding out in Nsukka. What is happening here?
At the moment?
Yeah.
Our chaps anticipate the coming of the enemy, and they are moving down forward to make sure the enemy doesn't come within our territory. That's what's happening at the moment.
Are you still holding Nsukka itself?
Yes, we are holding Nsukka.
And are you holding beyond it? Do you have your advanced posts beyond Nsukka?
We have our forward posts to the north of Nsukka.
Talk of a Biafran counterattack turned out to be wishful thinking. A later story put out by Biafran officials said a traitor had given the order for the retreat. It sounded like a cover story to bolster the morale of the army and of the civilian population. As we drove back down the road to Enugu, the traffic was all one way. Lots of refugees, but apart from an occasional army truck, no sign of troops moving up to the front. Lieutenant Colonel Nsukka, the military ruler of Biafra, gives his first press conference since fighting started with Nigerian troops. After about 10 days of fighting, how do you personally think that you've done in the battle and your troops have done in the battle so far, and how do you think it's going to develop?
In a conflict of this nature, where Lagos certainly has the superiority of arms, such as having armor, having artillery, one would expect the Lagos troops to break through and then get pushed back, depending on the strength of the resistance. And this is really what we've been doing, particularly on the Nsukka sector. Today, they push forward, tomorrow we push them back. And today they push forward, tomorrow we cut through the line of communication, they have to rush back. And this is what has been happening. And that is why there has been really no decisive encounter at Nsukka. It seemed clear that their attitude was originally to make a massive assault on the Nsukka area, the Ugoja area, so as to tie up all our troops, and then to make an armored thrust through Nsukka direct to their number one objective, Lieutenant Colonel Nsukka in Enugu. If you didn't know it, that's me.
Enugu is only 40 miles from Nsukka. Unless the Biafrans can really dig in and hold the main road in the face of an enemy with superior equipment, the Federal Army may be outside the gates of Enugu before very long. For Colonel Nsukka, it could be the beginning of the end.